there, and welcome back to the network, where today we're going to be wrapping up our month of Castlevania by taking a look at Castlevania Aria of Sorrow for the Game Boy Advance. So without any further ado, let's hop right into this. Aria of Sorrow, if you are unfamiliar, is the third and final Castlevania game released for the Game Boy Advance. And this game was actually so successful and went over so well that it received a sequel on the Nintendo DS, being Dawn of Sorrow, which we may end up taking a look at in the future, maybe next year when we go back to all the spooky Castlevania games for October. We'll take a look at the DS games, being, Dawn and Portrait of Ruin and Order of Ecclesia. Those are our Castlevania DS games. But for now, we are playing the original Aria of Sorrow here. And to give a brief synopsis, basically you're a high school student, you have your friend Mina, and you two go to some Japanese shrine and end up in some solar eclipse that takes you to Dracula's castle. And here we are meeting Genya Arikado, who may or may not be related to a certain other Castlevania character of note. Here we go. At this point, we find out that Soma actually has the ability to control souls, like absorb and control them, which is a very weird concept. And that actually plays into a large part of this game, where you can get 3 different soul types from various enemies that you defeat, and you basically gain abilities. I don't remember if there are actually like normal traditional sub-weapons, or if this system like completely takes it over, where I think right then and there we got like a creaking bone skull. So we have the ability to throw bones now. And it definitely is a neat system that opens up the doors to a lot of different, combinations where you can get like offensive, defensive, and then passive buffs. But here we are, we're finally done with our conversation, and we can advance into Dracula's castle. And here we go, we got a bunch of zombies to fight. Now, if we go into our soul set, not into enemy data, but if we go into our soul set, we have the winged skeleton, and then we have nothing for either of those. Oh, actually, it does not allow us to throw bones. It allows us to throw spears with up and B. And unlike the previous games where you needed hearts to work sub-weapons, your hearts actually just replenish your mana meter, and then you use mana for all of the different abilities that you can get from the souls. Now, I'm going to try and get a drop from one of these zombies real quick. We'll probably give it a good little attempt here, but one of the drops the zombies have is a cloth tunic, I believe, and that'll just give us a little bit of armor as we progress through here, but it does not look like we managed to get a cloth tunic, so that is unfortunate. And now, Aria of Sorrow probably has to be one of my favorite Castlevania games, mainly because it's so much like Symphony of the Night, and this is really where Castlevania on the go just kind of became very similar to the like console counterparts, where like as you can see, you have a full stat menu just like in Symphony. You have different weapons you can use, because unlike with the traditional style of Castlevania, or when you're playing as a Belmont, Soma does not have a whip, at least to begin with. I think you can get like a whip sword as a weapon, but we use a lot of knives here. He can also use a gun, which is the first time that's made an appearance in a Castlevania game, so that's pretty neat. It's definitely a fun game, and if you haven't played it, I would highly recommend it. Oh, there we go. Now we got the skeleton soul so we can throw bones. But yeah, this game and all of the other Game Boy Advance games are on the Castlevania Advance Collection. That should be on most, if not all, modern consoles. I believe it's on Switch, PC, and Xbox, and it's a great compilation. You have a lot of hours of playtime with these, because instead of them being like, the side-scrolling linear Castlevanias, these are full-on Metroidvanias, so you have a lot of exploration to do. Lots of time here. We actually did pick up a soul while we were down there too. One of our passive buffs, which allows us to backdash, or maybe it's a relic. It might be a relic. But we're on here to our first boss here, which is the creaking skull. Do you shoot? Okay, so you shoot like a fireball. For a second there, I was worried. I thought he might shoot a laser, which would be not good. Not good for the old health department. Oh, and apparently you can jump on the bone and take damage too. All right, we have to be extra careful here now, because I took a lot of damage from that bone that I did not need to do. Oh, actually he's gone. Wow, such an easy boss. Give me that orb. Yeah. You know, that's actually kind of funny because that boss was a lot easier to take out than the first boss in Harmony of Dissonance. Like, that bat took forever, but that creaking skull, like, skeleton was like, what? Not even 30 seconds. That was very, very interesting. Maybe the bat's just overpowered. is that what we're gonna go with? But yeah, Aria of Sorrow, like a lot of the Game Boy Advance Castlevanias, does have alternate playthrough modes. Maybe one day we can revisit Aria and then take a look at some of the alternate modes. I know there's one that's like a Julius mode, where it basically turns Aria into Castlevania 3. So you have, you know, a Belmont, and yeah, I won't go too far into it out of spoiler. Actually, no. I have that mistaken. This game is not that. Dawn of Sorrow is like that. It has a Castlevania 3 type mode, whereas this game it does have a Julius mode, but you just play as a Belmont. So you get your fancy whip and you run through and you destroy everything in the castle and you have a happy old fun time. All right, now what did I just pick up there? Because I was busy rambling. I didn't even pay attention to what I grabbed. Oh, I grabbed the flying armor. Okay, so that will allow us to glide gracefully here. Should I save? I think I'm gonna save. That way we don't have to go back into that room in case something unfortunate happens, which, you know, it's me playing a Castlevania game. There's bound to be something unfortunate that happens here. Now, the other thing about Aria that's super good is the soundtrack. They fixed the issue they had with, what is it, Harmony of Dissonance, where the sound quality just sounded like ass. I don't know why it was so crunchy, but it was very compressed. This game fixed it. It has a lot of classic tracks too, mainly being this castle entry theme. They have a really good remix of the, what is it, like the vampire killer that plays. It's great. This is a great game. If you haven't played it, I definitely recommend picking up that Castlevania collection and giving this thing a go. If you're a fan of Symphony of the Night, this is basically Symphony of the Night version 2. If I'm being entirely honest. And we can't actually jump up there. Oh, nope, we can if we use our flying armor. And we can go ahead and grab this potion as well. We know that we're gonna need it. And that skeleton ended up kind of ruining my whole little mojo there too. Like a little butthole skeleton. God, could you imagine a skeleton in your ass? Oh, that'd be an interesting you know, bit of time there. You know, originally I was thinking that the, you know, like the raptor and the what is it, the pterodactyl guy were in this game, but I don't actually think they are. Now I'm like thinking about it. Maybe they are. Maybe they are later. And I'm just thinking, like, you know, ahead. Because again, just like with Harmony of Dissonance, I kind of played that and, you know, this game, you know, back to back about 2 years ago. And that was the last time I played it. So I don't really remember a whole lot about the layout and like the, you know, the enemy stuff and like all the secrets that I used to, but we're here, we're just enjoying. We'll go ahead and we'll sneak up there and grab that scarf and leave. That's that was the ultimate, you know, plus 100 sneak ability to pickpocket that guy. All right, let's see. Can I actually equip the scarf with the leather chest plate, or is it I can get an extra two defense? So that's not too bad. But let's see if we can find ourselves the other boss here. Let's see, which way could we go? Can I go that underneath route? Let's go ahead. We'll check it out. We'll see if we can actually go that bottom route, or if it's blocked off. And I really don't know. I don't think I looked that closely. Okay, so we can actually go through the bottom part. Yeah, okay. So I guess we just kind of went the wrong way to begin with. Oh, and we got ourselves the zombie soldier tossing his little stupid old grenades. Can I hit the candle, please? Thank you. Got a peeping eye. See, now the thing that's nice about the flying armor is that you can kind of use it to just avoid enemies. You just jump over their head, do a little glide, and there you go. Look at that. Look at that. Masterful right there. Now, let's see if we can actually get to our next boss before the end of this episode. I'm pretty sure that we can. Let's see. Hello? Hello? Oh, I didn't even notice that I was so low on health. Oh, geez. Okay, well, there you go. See, the health bar's right there, but I wasn't paying attention. So let me go ahead and get back to where I was, and I'll cut back. All right, and now we are back to the entrance of the corridor where I met my demise, and we are just about at the same amount of health as we were last time. So let's go ahead and we'll go down in the item used. We'll grab ourselves a little bit of a potion. Actually, can we use that castle map? Is that... No. Okay, so it's permanently activated just so long as it's in our inventory. Interesting. But on our way back, I managed to defeat one of those skeletons that had the rapiers, and he gave me a skeleton soul, and that increased my strength by 4. So I actually deal more damage with my little short sword now, which is great. Benefits of needing to do the same thing twice, I guess. Well, let's see again if we can manage to come across another boss before we have to end this episode out. But yeah, I would have to say that Aria of Sorrow is probably one of my favorite Castlevania games, probably because it's so close to, you know, the Metroidvania style of the Metroid games, where it's still like, you know, it's still Castlevania. It's not full Metroid, but they definitely went and this is the closest to Symphony of the Night or, you know, your Super Metroid in terms of gameplay, and that I really like. I would definitely have to put this as one of my top 5 Castlevania games if I am being entirely honest. It is up there, and along with, like, you know, Symphony of the Night, Castlevania 3, you know, the original, all pretty solid titles. Okay, looking at the map, I feel like if we continue going to the left, it's just gonna lead us to a new area, so instead let's backtrack up to and go to the right. I feel like this way will probably get us to another boss, or a cutscene. I guess the cutscene. And naturally, we're gonna skip through just about all of that because, you know, we here at the network, we don't like to read, we like our gameplay. But basically what he's telling us is that, you know, not Castlevania, but Dracula was defeated back in 1999, and the prophecy is that, you know, someone makes it to his throne room, I believe, then they'll inherit the powers of Dracula and become the new Dracula. So that's kind of the conversation that we had with Graham right there. And this is probably I think this is the furthest out in the timeline. Oh, actually, no, technically Dawn of Sorrow, I think, would be after this because, you know, it's a sequel. But the Aria, you know, series of games are the most futuristic Castlevania games that exist because a lot of them take place, you know, before the 2000s or the 1800s, like way back in the medieval time. And this one takes place in 2035. So, you know, in about 10 years, we should expect to see Dracula's castle resurrect with an eclipse, and then we'll have to do the events here of Aria of Sorrow. I think at this point my quest should be not to look for a boss, more so to look for a save room, which I feel like there might be one right here. If I'm lucky, there is. There we go. Let's go ahead and we'll save. And shaboing. And with that, we are out of time for Aria of Sorrow, which officially marks the end of our month of Castlevania. It was a lot of fun bringing you guys these games. I would actually be curious to know which of the Castlevania titles we covered this year was your favorite. So go ahead and leave that in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed, remember to drop a like on the video and subscribe so that you don't miss any future content. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next one.